In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called FluentCRM, which, as it shows on my screen, is an email marketing automation solution for WordPress. Before we poke around the website here a bit and then look at the solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products and services we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website, product, and services for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this or other types of videos created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free lifetime partner membership. And we thank FluentCRM for being a partner. They currently have a deal running on their own website, a summer sale. But outside of those special sales on their own website, go to influencewp.com, find the deals area, and grab that exclusive deal that is year-round. Okay. All right. So the website we are looking at is FluentCRM.com. All right. And we're just going to, as I typically do, dive down into the footer unless something catches my eye as we scroll through the homepage. All right, down here we see that you can follow them on a number of social media platforms. They have an affiliate program if that's something that you're interested in, and they have a community as well. I want to pull up the documentation. I would also recommend you guys check out the free versus pro. From my understanding of just reading through everything before hitting record, is that the free plan is very, very feature rich, but the pro is just crazy how many features are in there. We're going to look at some of those. Here's some of their integrations that they have listed. I think they have a lot more than that. And then here's their family of products over there. The team behind the company behind this is WP Managed Ninja, and they have a very comprehensive suite of solutions for WordPress. I'm going to scroll back up here. Let's see if we can find some more information about integration. There we go. So 40 plus integrations, some very big names in WordPress that you see there. So that's good to see. Let's see, where do they list all of their features? Okay, it looks like it's right here on the homepage. 360-degree contact overview. So everything you need to know about your contacts, a creative email builder, an email campaign manager, marketing automation, smart contact segmentation, email sequencing, advanced reporting, and so on and so forth. Let's go to that. Let's go back to the footer. Let's go to this free versus pro. I think this will give us a better view of everything that's included. Yeah, so you see here, this is where I would go. You get all of these core features. So that, yeah, contact overview. So we talked about that. Email automation. There's a lot of little sub features underneath these as well. Advanced reporting, and then there's under miscellaneous, there's a whole bunch of stuff under there. Integrations. Yeah, so they have a lot of integrations. Very, very cool. Look like most of those are going to come when you're on the pro plan, which we're going to cover in this video. Yeah, power packed with features. Here's some more, even some new mentions. Smart links, 100 plus more features. Yeah, the only thing I would say here, FluentCRM team, if you happen to be watching this, it looks like you've I think I've seen somewhere or read somewhere where it says 60 some integrations. And then somewhere else I saw 40, and then now I'm seeing 35. So maybe I'm not sure what the exact number is there. And then also I'm not seeing an about page on here. I think like after I recorded another video for you guys, I think I noticed that you're kind of hoping somebody goes to the Managed Ninja link, and then maybe that's where you find the team page down in the footer. But that doesn't seem to be working either. So under the company, however, sorry about that. Under the company part, however, the company column, I should say, the about page goes somewhere completely different. So you got a bit of things going on with the about page, I think should be worked out. Here we have the documentation for FluentCRM, and let's just do a search for something. How about cart? There we go. So we have our cart related documentation. Let's just click into one of these. So we see some good documentation with screenshots that are annotated. Let's go find another doc. Very similar. Let's go find one more. There we go. Let's go back to getting started and just checking out like a longer doc. Okay, here we have some video, some more screenshots and annotations. So by everything that I see, we have good documentation. I'm actually going to pull that to my other screen in case we need it. Other than that, yeah, I think we're ready to get rolling. Let's check this out. So I have just a test WordPress site here, latest version of WordPress. The only plugins we're going to activate, I believe, are Fluent CRM and Fluent CRM Pro, because you need the base plugin, the free plugin for the Pro to work. So we're going to activate the free version. You can grab that from the WordPress repo. And let's go ahead and activate Pro. And over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to go in our menu. I'm going to go try to find where we put the license in. It looks, if I had to guess, it would be under settings. All right. So it looks like we've got a wizard here. Let's see. Thank you for no time. Okay, let's go. So let's just run through this wizard. Business name. I'll just put IWP for now. I'll just put like a bogus address in here. You are going to want to put your correct information in here, because we're talking about email marketing. So you need to have that correct information that is sent out and part of your company there. It's probably a good idea to put a logo in there as well. All right, let's go ahead and click next here. Let's go to lists. Contact segment list. You can set up your list to segment your contacts, for example. Okay, so you could just, I could put like course students, for example. Okay, automatically fills in the slug for us. That's cool. So we'll just go with that one for now. So maybe we have a website where we have courses, for example, and we have students that enroll in courses, and we want to segment those out to send emails only to those folks. Let's go ahead and click next. Contact tags. Okay, maybe they completed a course. Let's say they took a CSS course. Okay, maybe they took an HTML course. There is an HTML course as well. Let's put that in there. Let's go next. All right. Thank you again for configuring your own CRM for WordPress to collect lead. There's a little typo there. Leads via form. We are suggesting to install Fluent Forms. Fluent Forms is fast. Okay, we're not going to do that. That's actually already installed, because that was a previous video that I just did. But I'm not sure we're going to even mess with that in this video. If you want to share essential information with Fluent CRM, you could check this box to help them further the development of their plugin. Just give them some insights as to what's going on. And then you could put your email address in here to subscribe to their newsletter if that's what you're interested in. Let's go ahead and complete the installation. Get improved features and faster fixtures by sharing. Okay, I thought that was that previous screen, but maybe not. So I'm just going to say no thanks. Okay, next up is importing contacts. So if you have your contacts already available, like I'm not sure what you can import from. Maybe we'll try this out. But if you have them like in a spreadsheet, a CSV file, or maybe another platform, maybe that's what they're going to allow us to do here. So let's just try this. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Okay, where can we import from? Let's go import. There we go. So CSV, and then WordPress users. So if you just want to pull from your current WordPress users, you could do that, or import from other providers. Let's go ahead and click that. So you can do MailChimp, ConvertKit, MailerLite, Drip, or ActiveCampaign. And then you'll just run through this process, map your data, review it, and then say go. All right, so let's close that down. Let's just go now to the CRM dashboard. Okay, here, email. I think this is the license right here for Pro. So let's go ahead and just activate that now. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to license this up. All right, we are good to go there. And I guess what we could do is let's just run through these top to bottom. So we're in the dashboard menu item. It looks like no. We are probably over in settings. Okay, there we go. So we are in the settings menu item. Let's just run through this. We already set up the business settings here. Let's go to email settings. So who's the email coming from, what's the address, what's the reply to name, what's the reply to email, if you need to set something separate there, maximum email limit per second. I know, for example, like I set up just the other day, I set up an email sending service, and it said in that service they actually had an, what's the word I'm looking for? They had a limit on how many emails you could send per second on their platform. So this is also tying into that. So got to pay attention to whatever it is your email platform that you're using to send that SMTP and whatnot. What are their limits as well? So you need to work within the bounds of that. Let's just go ahead and see what this tooltip right here says for it. Set the maximum emails will be sent per second. Set this number based, yeah, right there. Set this number based on your email provider. Yep. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So this, when you send out emails, this is going to be your footer. So you can dynamically insert short codes, if you will, codes that are dynamically going to fill in this data. And let's see, let's click on add smart codes, and it looks like they have a large number here. Yeah, always good to add personalization and stuff like that. But anything that you can make dynamic, like your site name, your site URL, and stuff like that, you want to try to do that. Okay, and then down here they give you some examples of what you can do. Right here, if you want to redirect after an unsubscribe, you could do that. Email preference settings. Can a subscriber manage list subscriptions? I typically say yes to this. So let's see, our options are no, or contact can see and manage the following list subscriptions. Okay, then you can specify which lists. So maybe you have some internal lists and you don't want them to see those. That would be where that would come into play. But if you don't, and you just want them to be able to see all lists and manage all lists, you can do that right there. Okay, enable preference form shortcode. I'm not really sure what this means. Enable preference form shortcode. Preference form shortcode. So I guess with this, when they go to see their all lists and manage the subscriptions, I think this is maybe saying, yeah, okay. So this is saying use this shortcode to show those forms so people can manage their own subscriptions and lists. Okay, so drop that onto a page. This is what they give you right there. Okay, let's go to general settings, auto sync user data and contact data. So if you want to sync your WordPress users into FluentCRM, you can do that. Next up is user sign up opt-in settings. Enable create new contacts when someone registers in WordPress. So if somebody goes and they create an account on your website, this is going to automatically create an account. Create them as a contact in FluentCRM. WP user role based tag mapping. So enable this. You could say, hey, if they are a subscriber, let's map them to this list, or let's tag them this way. Or maybe somebody moves between a subscriber role and a customer role, right? And then you could remove a tag from them. So you give them a tag when they have a certain role, and then when they go to a different role, you remove a tag. So super cool stuff there. Tag mapping, which is a perfect name for that right there. Comment form subscription settings. Enable, so create new contacts in FluentCRM when a visitor adds a comment to your comments. So if you have WordPress comments enabled, like say on your blog posts, if someone goes to comment on one of those posts, this is going to create a new contact for a visitor. Customer contact fields. This one's pretty easy. Go add field. Just choose what kind of information you want to collect about somebody. Okay. You just go ahead and you build all of this out. So single line text, multi-line text, numeric field, select choice, multiple select choice, radio choice, checkboxes, date, and date time. Okay, so if you want to add something custom that's not already there, that's where you could do that. So maybe we come in here and we do radio choice. We could say, maybe you're doing something to where someone's favorite color, comes into play. I'm just making stuff up. Favorite color, okay. The values: red, blue, green, that sort of thing. You get the idea. So we can add that. Later on, you see here that we can edit it, we can delete it, we can move it up and down in our form. Okay, let's go to smart links. Smart links allow you to tag and segment your subscribers when they click on a link in an email on your site or anywhere. Oh, that's really slick. Okay, start using smart links. Let's call this test link. Going to give it a target URL. So pretend you were doing that. So if they click that link, apply a tag. So maybe it's maybe the target URL is like linking to the CSS course, and you're going to tag them with CSS. Maybe it's like maybe you have a tag that's like CSS viewer, and then you have another tag that's like CSS course member, like these different parts of the funnel that they're going through. Like maybe they just viewed your CSS course offering, that gets a tag. Maybe they sign up, then they get a different tag, that sort of thing. So apply lists when clicked. So you're not only going to tag them, you can apply them to lists, which we don't have yet. We haven't created any lists yet. Remove tags when a link is clicked. Remove lists when a link is clicked. Auto login. Enable auto login for the connected WordPress user when this smart link is being clicked from email. Okay, so let's say you send out an email, you have one of these smart links in there, and say that person that clicked that link is also a WordPress user on your site. It's just going to auto log them in. So that's a really cool feature. Possibly a security risk. Got to think through that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm overthinking that, but this is something to think about. Note optional. So I would highly recommend that you put a note in here and describe what it is, why you created the smart link in the first place. Because especially if you're going to have multiple smart links that are pretty similar in what they do, just kind of good notes, internal notes. Double opt-in settings. I highly recommend this to keep people from being upset that you are adding them to lists without their permission. Make sure you get their permission that they are opting into your lists. This is where you would set up the design of that email. And there's lots of options here, as you can see, to configure this. Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything specifically I need to mention here. So you've got design templates here to set this up. Is there a preview? We have the smart codes. So you can drop in those dynamic codes. Trying to think if there's a way to preview this on the front end. Just I'm not seeing it, but not a huge deal. I guess this is your preview right here, right? I think another little bit of feedback. It's not a big deal. Forget it. Ignore me. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. So sum this up. You can design double opt-in. I recommend double opt-in to give people the choice to receive your email. Let's go to integration settings. So we've got various integrations here. Let's see. Don't have anything to set because we haven't integrated anything. So I don't know what's going to happen once we do. I'm assuming this is going to light up some settings. Okay, abandoned cart settings. Abandoned cart features is available for WooCommerce. Looks like okay, let's do this. Let's turn on WooCommerce. Let's refresh. Let's go back to the integrations. There we go. So that unlocked something. So basically what this is going to do is detect what software, what plugins you have installed on your site, and then just give you the options to then set up the integrations. Okay. So here, now that we have WooCommerce enabled, default list to contact. So WooCommerce customers are not yet synced to FluentCRM. To sync enable, okay, so you're syncing WooCommerce customers with FluentCRM based on your various criteria here. So you're selecting the default list if you want to do that, the default tag to go from WooCommerce to FluentCRM, and the default contact status. So subscribe, pending, unsubscribe, transactional. And then, so right now, if I click this button and I have customers on my site, it's going to sync it over to FluentCRM based on the settings that we choose. All right, abandoned cart. Now that we have WooCommerce activated, this is lit up, and we can say enable abandoned cart tracking for WooCommerce. Okay, with that ticked on, we now see a lot of options here. So if you're not familiar with abandoned cart, think of it as you go to a website and you are shopping for something, and you get distracted for whatever reason and you have to go take care of some business and you abandon your cart. This is trying to, as a store owner, to capture back that customer, potential customer that got distracted. Okay, so lots of configuration options in here. We're not going to go through all of these, but again, lots of tagging options, list options, and so on and so forth. Incoming webhooks. Webhooks are a way to connect to other bits of software. So it's a little bit outside of what we're trying to do here in this video, but you can create webhook here and then hook into various other software solutions. Okay. Managers. So what type of people who are allowed to manage your CRM along with you, the admin, or maybe you don't do it at all and you just delegate. So add new manager, choose their email, put their email address in here, give them the permission. So if you have multiple team members that are helping you manage your CRM, that's what that's for. Pretty self-explanatory. REST API is a little above what we're going to do in this video too. But if you get involved in the REST API, then you'll know what this is. There is documentation here. Let's check that out. Yeah, how to set that up and everything. Okay. Yeah, so those are kind of more developer things. Webhook is still developer-ish, but a little less developer-ish. REST API is definitely more developer-ish. You need to get into that. Let's go to tools. Got another mention of REST API here. So it's like the status of everything involved with that. Here we have our cron job status. You can force cron to run manually. So there's different levels of cron. There's the WordPress cron, and this is based, no matter how you think of it, it is a scheduler, right? When are the tasks completed in WordPress? So there's WordPress cron, there's like server-based cron, there's different levels. And so it's a little, again, outside the scope of this video, but looks like you can read all about it right here. Danger zone, this is if you are, you need to start over with your FluentCRM situation, then that's what you could do right here. Or you just need to clear it out. I'm not sure if this plugin offers the ability to clean up after itself after you remove it, but this is essentially what this is going to do too. Data cleanup. So you can select the logs you want to delete. So email history logs, email click logs, email open logs, or activity logs. Right now it's 30 days. So if I tick these on, they're going to clear out after 30 days, but obviously you can set a different threshold. All selected logs that are older than 30 days will be deleted. All right, let's change this to 60. Does that text change? Yeah, okay. All right, let's go over to compliance. Anonymized IP address for associate contact data. So that is just keeping those IP addresses anonymous. That's what anonymized IP address is. It's for privacy reasons. If you want to anonymize those IP addresses, make them anonymous. Delete connected and going back there, you may just want to do it just to do it. But also if you fall under certain compliance, certain regulations, you may have to do that. So I wanted to say that. Next step is delete connected contact when user gets deleted. So if you have a WordPress user or WooCommerce customer that you've synced to FluentCRM and they go away for whatever reason, you delete their account, this is saying it's going to also remove it from FluentCRM. Next step, which is activated by default, is including contact info in personal data export by WordPress. What I think that's include contact info and personal data export. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Include contact info and personal data export. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that's saying. So let's go ahead and move on. Enable one-click unsubscribe. Okay, if enabled, then no feedback will be, okay. So this is a personal preference. So if you just think about how you yourself like to unsubscribe from list. When you unsubscribe from a list, you want to just click unsubscribe and you're done and you can go on about your day? Or do you get annoyed when you get asked for feedback like, hey, why are you subscribing? So think about that when you make that choice. Next step is enable Gravatar photo service for contact photo. So if you want to pull, if the contact happens to have a Gravatar account, you can just pull from Gravatar to populate their photos, their images there, their Gravatar, their avatar. And then it looks like there's a fallback to UI-avatars.com, which I'm not familiar with, but I think this first one here is going to actually use the main Gravatar service. So, all right, moving on to SMTP, email service settings. So you need to be able to send email reliably. Or all of this falls apart. So you can use the Fluent SMTP plugin. It's absolutely free. And then you can use that in conjunction with one of these services right here. Okay. So on the left-hand side, we've got Amazon SES, Mailgun, SendGrid, Sendinblue, Pepsi Post, Spark Post, and then any other SMTP provider. When you look at SMTP, be very careful because and the SMTP plugins should tell you this, but there's some services that while you can send by SMTP, it's not recommended to send bulk email marketing emails through certain providers. So really pay attention to that. All of these here on this list, you're fine. But when you start getting into any SMT provider, that's when you got to be a little cautious. Okay, so down here, you'll select your bounce handling settings. So choose your provider. So whatever you choose, you're going to have different settings here. Okay. So you definitely want to make sure you're managing your bounces. Don't just let them bounce and don't not manage them. You got to take, especially depending on which of these platforms you go with. Some of them have stricter bounce policies. You got to really pay attention to the bounced emails. I'll go back. Let's go back a little bit. Bounced emails, just in case you don't know. Maybe you're completely brand new to this SMTP thing. You send an email, it goes to an invalid address or whatever. It bounces back as invalid. That's the things that you got to stay on top of. Okay, advanced features config. Quick contact navigation. Enable this feature if you want to quick navigation bar for navigating next or previous contacts easily. Okay, that's fine. Campaign archives. If you want to showcase your email campaigns in the front end page with a short code. Okay, so if you run a campaign, they're going to give you some short codes and you can drop that right on the front page of your site. Here we go. Choose the campaign, choose the lists. Here's the short code, drop that into a page and display that on the front end. Date and time format. Okay, so you can choose what they have here, or you can go with whatever you set up in WordPress within the settings of WordPress. So that would be settings, and then general is going to be this one, pull from this one right here. Navigation adds the new FluentCRM navigation experience to the dashboard. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, but sounds nice. Company module, enable company module for contacts. So that's interesting. So maybe it adds additional company data to the contacts. So if you're not just an individual person, you're actually part of a company and you want to maybe list your company name and whatnot. And then there's also a setting here, try to get company logo automatically from the given website URL. That's pretty slick. So, okay, disable AI. So if you don't want to use AI at all as part of the visual email builder, you can disable that. If you're not interested, it'll probably save a little bit of not loading certain code, or it may reduce some clutter. I'm not sure, but maybe we'll look at that here in a second. Multi-threading email sending, enable multi-threading email sending. If you enable this FluentCRM, try to send emails in parallel. Okay. System log, enable system log for debugging. So turn that on if you're facing issues, or if you're trying to get support from FluentCRM and they tell you to turn that on so you can grab some logs. That's what that's for. License management, we've already licensed our product. Okay, let's go over here in the left-hand side of the menu. Let's go to contacts, and let's just add a contact. So I'll just put Ryan here, and I'll put hello at InfluenceWP.com. You can put a phone number in here if you want. Date of birth. So if you've got campaigns around people's birthdays, like you want to send them a gift, you could collect their date of birth. If you want to add address info, you can do that. Okay, add custom data. Okay, here, remember before we added that custom field for the caller. So here they can pick their favorite caller. Here you can manually assign them to a list because they haven't gone through any sort of a campaign or anything like that to add them to a list, or they haven't purchased anything at this point, but you can manually go in here and add them to list. Maybe you have an internal list for your partners or whatever, and you want to manually add them to these lists just to save them time from having to go and click a link and whatnot. You can add the manually add tags and then mark them as subscribed or whatever else. So let's go ahead and create that contact. I then want to go back over to the settings. Let's go into, where did we see that? Was it tools? I think it was advanced. Company module. Let's go turn this on. All right, let's turn on. Let's try to capture the logo from the website too. So let's do that. So now when I refresh this, let's see if we have something about a company in here. I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Over there on the right-hand side, assign company. Create new. We'll just do IWP. Put the email address in here, company logo. We're going to try to fetch that automatically. So let's do the InfluenceWP website. Create company. There's obviously more fields that you can do here. Let's go ahead and just plop that in. So now we've associated this contact with this company, and boom, look, it pulled in the logo. Super cool. Okay. You've got social media links, number of employees, all kinds of really cool stuff. Okay. So that's a contact. And here we now have companies that we've started building. You can import, export them, add companies manually, which we already did. We've got the lists. Okay. We already went over that. Let's click on edit there. Anything to do? Nope, nothing else to do there. Let's click on this little gear icon. Okay. Got opt-in settings. Okay, let's go to tags. These are the tags we created earlier. Self-explanatory. We've got our campaigns. We have not created any campaigns, so let's go ahead and do that. Create our first campaign. Call this IWP campaign. Create. Okay. We can import templates. But before we do that, let's just check out the different options here. So simple box, plain centered, plain left, classic editor, raw HTML, or the visual builder. Let's do visual builder. Let's go blank. Okay, so here maybe we can just drop in a heading. And then once you drop in that heading, you've got all sorts of options. Make it a link, change the color, change the font family, the weight, something called smart headings here. Get AI-based suggestions for your headings, any tone you want. Okay, so this is the AI we alluded to earlier. I'm wondering if we're gonna have to put in our own API key here. Nope, doesn't look like it. All right, super cool. So you can use one of these. Very nice. And then we have display conditions. Show if a certain tag is selected. Show it. That is really cool. Cool. Can you do multiple conditions? Let's go. Show if in selected tag. Let's go CSS. Let's do that. No, it looks like one condition there. You can view on mobile and desktop just to make sure the design is responsive. Let's go back to our blocks here. So this is our content block. Our footer. Okay, so this is going to be our footer. You know, when we went over that earlier, how you can set up your dynamic tag, your dynamic, information and stuff like that. So, but you can design it here, padding and stuff like that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. How do we add another block? Oops, here we go. Okay, so just hover your mouse over this and click the plus symbol here, add row. All right, so maybe here we want to just do text. And again, same settings. Maybe we want to add an image at the very top. There we go. So let's choose our image. And I'm not talking about all of this over and over again because as you can see, there's repetitive stuff. It's just designing this however it is that you want. We can upload an image. There's also an AI option again, a magic image. Let's try it. Person using a laptop. Okay, there we go. Let's just go with let's go. This looks like a painter's, not a laptop. I must have picked the wrong thing. Let's try that one more time. Person using a computer. Let's see. Man in a modern office space. Yes, let's go with that. All right. So not great, at least in that case. So let's go back. Let's close that. Again, we got the display conditions. Let's just go ahead and upload an image. There we go. So we've got our image. With that, we also can, like I said, adjust the styling, do alt text, all of that sort of stuff. Does it open in a new tab? Does it not? What does the link do? Open in a website? Does it send an email? Does it call a phone number? All kinds of cool stuff. So that's it in a nutshell. What if we wanted to do a CTA? Here we go. So button. Let's just put a button put a button above the footer. Footer stays in the footer. So there we have our button. And we say, how do we change the text? Oh, there we go. Subscribe today. So there's our CTA. And then, of course, you can style this up however it is that you want. Maybe we want to change the background color just to black. There we go. Or blue. So we'll just do black. So there we go. I mean, just that fast, you've created a campaign, right? Let's go over here. Let's save it. Let's go continue with subject and settings. So we could put our subject in here. So this is what they're going to see when they get their email. Just say IWP campaign. Let's do this. This is actually one that I use. Let's do free giveaway, and then put the name of the giveaway. So it would be like FluentCRM. Then if you need to do email, if you need to do A/B testing of your subjects, email subjects, you can do that. We're going to skip that for now. And then the pre-header, this is like a part of email. It's not like the full-blown email subject, but it's like a shorter version of your subject, so to speak. You could just do something like free giveaway, or you can do FluentCRM giveaway, something like that. Okay, set custom from name and email if you need to do that. Otherwise, it's just going to pull from your global settings. Add UTM parameters. So if you need to do some tracking for whatever reason, then you can do that here. Okay, and then you could send your test email once you have your SMTP set up. All right, let's continue to next step, which is the recipients. All right, so we're going to send this campaign. We're going to send it to our course students, and we're going to send it to those that are assigned our CSS tag. So they are our CSS course students. Okay, and then you can add additional actions there if you want. If you need to exclude certain people or certain individuals based on tags, so you can do exclude all. I don't know why you would do all there, but if you have multiple lists, you could make sure that one of the lists aren't getting the email. Same with the tag if you want to ensure that. So as it says here, select lists and tags that you want to exclude from this campaign. Excluded contacts will be subtracted from your included selection. Okay, we have very basic lists right now, very basic segmentation, very basic tags going on. But once you get more complex, that the include exclude will make more sense. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. Next step is review and send. Also, we have more options here. Let's look at. So we did by list and tag. I see another option, by dynamic segment. Please select to which dynamic segment you want to send emails to this campaign. Okay, so you could do WordPress users or WooCommerce customers, or by advanced filter. So maybe you want to add a contact by just, I only want to send emails to people with the first name of whatever, or maybe their birthday. Remember, I talked about that. You collect the birth dates. You can send an email to everybody with a birthday in August. It's August at the time of this recording, so that comes to mind. You could do that. All right, let's move over to review and send. So you're going to get an overview of what your email is going to look like, who the recipients are, what's the subject. So here's that full subject that we set up, and this is that little preview text. So you see how it's like a little bit shorter. Okay, and then we can send a test. I always recommend sending a test email so you can check it out on your native email app, maybe a browser email-based app, your mobile phone especially. Check that out. And then down here, you can choose whether to send the emails right now, schedule them, choose schedule, when do you want to send them, or schedule emails within a specific date and time range. So you can choose not only the time, but the date. Okay. That sort of thing. Yeah, that's really about it. Let's go back to campaigns again. So there's reoccurring campaigns, there's email sequences, and here's the email templates. So we can create a new template if we want to use it over and over again, and then we can export those templates to other sites. I believe I read that somewhere. So maybe you have clients, or maybe you manage multiple websites and you create a template that you really like, so you can bring that into your other sites. Let's go back under reoccurring domains. Let's create one. Provide basic information. So this is going to be like, as it says, reoccurring. You're going to keep sending a particular email, right? I do these with InfluenceWP. We send weekly, or I think monthly journals. So like a monthly journal roundup of everything that's going on. We could say monthly. When do you want to send it? Just pick a whatever day. So maybe towards the end of the month, the last Friday of the month, for example, you could do. What time of day do you want to send it? Okay, let's continue on. Send emails if posts are published within the last, we'll call it. So let's say we're sending it on the 28th of every month. So maybe we say, let's send all posts that were published within the last 28 days. So that's going to capture that month, right? And then you can get into specific conditions here. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. And we get into what we saw earlier: by list, tag, by dynamic segment, by advanced filter. Okay, let's go back to campaigns again. I want to create one with a template. So let's go create new template. All right, how do we pull in a template? Import template. Oh, so it's not pre-made templates, it's your templates. Okay, so if you create a template, you can import yours right there. So here we've got the visual builder. Okay, let's go in and see what they have for us. Okay, so they've got a couple of nice templates there. Let's create another one. Let's go there. Let's choose the sales one this time. There we go. So they've got some nice templates to get you started. But I don't know if there are more templates than those two or not. Let's go blank. Can I import something I didn't notice before? When you're creating the campaigns, you've got blocks. That's enabled by default. There's also different layouts. There's also global styles, so like fonts and colors and things like that. And then there's stock media that you can pull from. So that's nice. Let's go up here. What are these three vertical dots? Okay, you can save this as a template once you like what you see. And then here we've got those dynamic tags you can pull from, or dynamic short codes or codes, however you want to call that. Yeah, so I apologize, FluentCRM, if I'm just not seeing it and you have more templates, but it looks like we have two to choose from here. If you happen to watch this, you're watching this far in, or if somebody watching this video is still watching at this point and you know that there are more templates, feel free to let me know and I'll put it in the description of the video. Okay, we've got forms. Activate Fluent Forms integration. Let's go ahead and we'll toggle that on. Create your first form. Let's go over to our plugins. So that went ahead and turned on Fluent Forms. It knew I had Fluent Forms already installed, so it just turned that on for me. Let's go create the first form. We're gonna fly through this. We'll do it. We did an opt-in form there. Test. We're gonna add them to our list. We're gonna add them to a particular tag, or not. You don't have to. You don't even have. Yeah, you got to choose a list. Tags you don't have to do. Double opt-in, enable double opt-in confirmation. So when that email comes through, they have to opt in to be added to the list. Okay, create that form. We're going to get a short code. I'm just going to grab it there. We can also preview the form before backing out of here just to see what it looks like. Okay, there you go. But like I said, if you want to grab this short code and drop it on a page, that's what you're going to see. Okay, let's go over to automations. Let's set up a new automation. So this is a funnel. This is where a lot this is probably the most powerful piece of all of this, in my opinion. So you can do some of these templates: inactive customer automation, re-engagement email automation, WooCommerce feedback automation, WooCommerce post-purchase upsell automation, product recommendation automation. Here we go. This is the birthdays again. Birthday discount automation, or start from scratch. Let's just build one very quickly. Let's go WooCommerce. Let's say when a new order is completed, let's do something. Okay, order is completed. Okay, we're going to subscribe them. Run the automation actions, even contact status is not subscribed. Okay. Target products, so they purchased this product. We are going to, and the order is completed. We're going to then subscribe them. Okay. Or target, okay, let's skip that. Purchase type, any type of purchase, or you can do their first purchase or from their second purchase on. So we'll say the first time they purchased this product, and the order is completed, we're going to subscribe them. Okay, restart the automation multiple times for a contact for this event. Only enable if you want to restart automation for the same contact. So we'll skip that for now. I'll let you guys think through that when you try this out. Okay, so that happened. So now that has happened, let's click this plus sign to do an action. We are going to apply a list. Okay, we're going to add them to our course students list and save. So to recap, they purchased the product. It went through an order status of completed. They are subscribed to this list now because of that purchase. And then after that, we're going to do one more. We're going to do an exit. So they purchased it. They got behind the scenes applied to a list, and then we're going to do try to do a redirect here. We could send them an email. How about that? We'll send them an email. Send them a custom email. You can do an internal label, a description for this. We're going to send to that contact, and then the subject's going to be whatever you want it to be. They've got the dynamic codes there. We're going to say welcome to the CSS course. Welcome to the CSS course list, or something like that. Okay, and then you can put that pre-header, that's a little smaller email header in there. You could say just welcome. Okay, and then build out your email body, how you want that email to look, just as we did before. Import a template if you've already got one that you like. But it's the same thing. You build that form however it is that you want. Clicking on these different icons here, we didn't do that before, but here are the blocks. So it's actually using the WordPress block editor to build this. So you could drop in a heading. Welcome. Let's do another block. Maybe do an image. Choose your image. Maybe you want that image to be above the heading, so we push that up above the heading. We say welcome. Come on down here, do another block. Maybe this is a paragraph, so just dropping in text. Um, where is, okay, we'll just do heading and we'll switch that over to paragraph. There we go. You could say, hi, and then use that. I would use this is where I would use one of those dynamic tags, pull from one of these dynamic tags up here and do like contact, full name, or just first name even. Grab that, punch that in here. So when they get the email, it just dynamically fills that in. Let's go back there again. Contact, we'll do first name. There we go. So hi, we'll do hi, comma, contact first name, exclamation point. Okay, so we've dynamically injected their first name. I think that's good. I think you see how that works there. I'm not sure what this icon here, it looks kind of like AI, but it's not. Email styling settings and footer settings. So we've got all of our global settings here, and then we've got our footer settings. Okay, we didn't look at that before. Here's where you can preview what that's going to look like. This little blue icon right here. And then here you can style up the way that your form aligns and all that sort of thing, your template aligns. Here you can see the actual code underneath, or if you need to switch over smart codes. That's what they call those, dynamic codes. I should have been using that terminology all along, smart codes. And if you need to switch over to the visual builder, it looks like you can do that very easily. Okay, so I think we've covered everything. We went over all of the settings. Oh, we've got reports. So this is nice. So whether it's the CRM side of things or the WooCommerce side of things, and if you have more integrations, obviously that's going to be in there. But a nice dashboard to see how everything is performing. Let's go to add-ons. We've turned on that company module earlier. We can turn on campaign archives. So this is where you show those front-end campaigns to people on your website. Event tracking module. So that would be like if someone clicks on a button, you could track that. Fluent Forms, we see that is installed and activated. You can implement Fluent SMTP, which I would recommend for SMTP if while you're in the Fluent family, especially. But even on its own, it's one of the better SMTP plugins for WordPress. If you want to put Fluent support in there, click that link. Fluent Connect, click that link. And then here's your SMTP section again. We covered automations, we covered forms, we covered templates. Cool. All right, I think that is it, guys. As we can see, extremely powerful stuff. And like I said, currently they're having, at the time of this recording, it's August 5th. They are having a summer sale, 40% off. Outside of those special deals, go to InfluenceWP.com, find the deals area and do a search for FluentCRM and grab that exclusive deal that is evergreen. It's always there and it's significant. So hope you enjoyed this video. It was longer than some of the others, but hopefully you bared with me and you found some value in it. And thanks again, FluentCRM, for being a partner. Catch you guys in the next video. See ya.